Ariel Helwani in Philadelphia for the UFC 133 media workouts, and look who we have run into, the oldest man to ever win a boxing championship, a man who needs no introduction, Mr. Bernard Hopkins. And Bernard, it is good to see you. Thank you for the time. It's kind of interesting to see you at a UFC media workout because famously a couple years ago, you didn't have very nice things to say about MMA. Have you changed your tune?
Yes, I'm kissing ass now. I'm outnumbered here, and these guys are very looking seriously. But all jokes to the side is that the respect that I have for the UFC and MMA is basically Alvarez, who trains here, and a couple other guys I met personally over the years. And just to see them work out and train, I gotta say, I was wrong. These guys are legit, and they are very, very serious. And I'm a man to say what I said before, and I'm a man to say what I'm saying now. This is the real deal. So anybody that was like me, that think that the UFC and MMA is just some great acting, trust me, these guys are really putting themselves out there in their own way, in their own sport. Boxing is a whole new different breed than what they do, and they are good at what they do and how they train and how they execute, and we are good at what we do. And I think that both sports should be respected as their own style and their own way. Any UFC fighter, MMA fighter going to a boxing ring and can't do what they do in the UFC, 9 out of 10 won't be victorious, and vice versa. With a boxer coming from, even myself, coming over to that field, will be a fish trying to be in the jungle and survive. It's not going to happen. These boys are the real, these men are the real deal. And let me tell you something, I'm going to be there Saturday with you, watching the great matches, including the main event that I'm excited about.
And obviously you're referring to the Bellator lightweight champion, Eddie Alvarez, who trains here. Is there anything that you think boxing can learn from the UFC in terms of promotion? Because the UFC has had this sort of meteoric rise in the last few years, and some people have said that boxing has stalled a little bit. So do you think there's anything that boxing can learn from the young upstarts, so to speak?
Make Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao fight. Make the matches that people are interested in too. Make every division have a sudden death tournament type of style where the best fight the best, and the one to be the best fight the one to be the best to be the best. At the end of the day, you must have these matches to be able to get butts in the seats and get boxing back in the forefront, or at least the 20 and the 13 and the 15 and the whatever thousands of people that come out to great matches every now and then. You want that all the time, and you can get that all the time, whether it's a recession or non-recession. When people see good matches, when they see good fights, they will come from any planet to see it. And that's why I'll be there Saturday to watch this UFC fight, an MMA fight, my very first one, and believe it or not. It's not easy to get me out off the couch, you know, at 46 years old, unless I'm fighting myself.
Right.
But I will be there to support not only Philadelphia, but I'll be there to support the guys that work hard in my gym, Johan's gym in Philadelphia, to support them and let them know that I'm a fan. And it's going to be standing room only down there. And they probably, if I'm lucky enough, which I think, I'll get my name announced, and I'll be able to let people know I'm there. So that's cool.
Just curious, if UFC President Dana White offered you an MMA fight, a super fight against another MMA champion, boxing versus MMA in the octagon though, MMA rules, would you ever entertain that?
Yes, as a fan.
Well, no, as a fighter.
No, no, I'm not my insurance won't cover it. And I'm out of my element. And I know my element. And my element is to do what I've been doing since I was 9 years old. And to try to, no matter how many trinkets I got in the game, it's a different world when you're in the MMA and the UFC world. These guys have more than one weapon. Yes, I have more than one weapon, but all my weapons is on my 2 feet that I have to operate from that office. But when you have to operate from the ground up, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. So I respect that. And if you don't respect that, then you're a fool. And I'm not a fool.
Finally, you mentioned Floyd and Manny, and of course they're not fighting anytime soon. You obviously made history just a couple of months ago when you won the title, when you beat Jean Pascal. You're fighting again October 15th against bad Chad Dawson, and it seems as though your story is one of the feel-good stories of the year in boxing. Do you feel in a sense that Bernard Hopkins once again is sort of carrying the sport on his back, because it's one of the only stories this year in boxing that has really gone mainstream coverage? It felt like when you fought Pascal in May, the whole sports world was watching, and that doesn't happen often in combat sports.
I agree. I mean, I found myself at places down in New York City, Bloomberg, and I found my places here and there that really didn't cover boxing. And I realized that a lot of that had to do with my age, but a lot of it also had to do with the people in the mainstream recognize that I've done something over the years to be able to still have the body and the mind to be able to compete and win. And then second, man, I think it's a time where somebody has to stand away from the pack and be extraordinary and be different. And I might not be the guy that's number pound for pound in everybody's division, but I'm a guy that's lasted longer than any fighter did in the last 20 years. And to be able to do that in a sport that's so physical, I think that people are starting to not only respect it, but they're starting to pay attention on how did I get there and how I got there. And that's when I get a chance to tell them that lifestyle, the way I treat myself, the way I stay in condition, and the way I go into any sport or any match with the mindset of training hard, training smart, and executing, that's starting to hit mainstream, and I'm proud that it hit it at this time.
The executioner is still executing. It is very good to see you still in action, and great to hear that you have changed your tune on MMA. That is a very good piece of news, so thank you very much, and a pleasure to talk to you.
I am honored to be a part of helping and being a part of supporting it, and I'm glad to be there this Saturday to watch the show. And I will be rooting for my guys that I want to win. And you know what? At the end of the day, man, they got to put in work like I got to put in work. Just on that alone, respect. Thank you.
Thanks, Bernard.